I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. What power we have as sons and daughters of God. Hello, I'm a forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, Willie, and we're ready for lesson 284 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition here on Wednesday, October the 11th of 2023. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. Wow, can you accept that? Let's listen to it again. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. It reminds me of the time I got bit by a copperhead, and I was having a huge amount of pain. I finally fell asleep in the wee hours of the night for a few minutes, and during that I had a dream, in the bigger dream of life. I had a dream, and my internal medicine man came to me. He said, Will, you're looking at this in a way that's causing you pain. You're perceiving it in a way that's making it painful. Instead of it being poison that's coming into you, it's the gift of God. See it as such. Breathe it in as medicine, and let go of the uncomfortableness with your breath. And let it be not pain. He said, let's practice right now in your dream before you wake up. And I practiced, and the pain went away. And when I woke up, I was able to keep doing it. And I healed really quickly, and the pain was, I can't say it was completely gone, because I told someone who was there, it was my past wife, and she said, I said, the pain's all gone. And so she just pokes her finger right on it. And I said, well, it's not completely gone. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. Such is the truth. At first to be but said, and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted, as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today, go past all reservations, and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, and grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. All things work together for good, even snake bites. Okay, let's go look at our associated reading for today. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And before this wilts, I couldn't sit next to my elderberry, but there's a branch off of it. It just wasn't a place for me to sit close to it. But you know, I'm going to try mowing them down this year and just see if it comes back and makes a harvest like they were talking about. Mow them down, and then they shoot back in the spring and produce their crop. What is the Holy Spirit? And take with us, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth, as he must bridge the gap between reality and dreams. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him. to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. Across the bridge that he provides are dreams all carried to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. The goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams. For sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. And when this is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the only goal it has in truth. For learning, as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome he perceives for it, becomes the means to go beyond itself, to be replaced by the eternal truth. If you but knew how much your Father yearns to have you recognize your sinlessness, you would not let his voice appeal in vain, nor turn away from his replacement for the fearful images and dreams you made. The Holy Spirit understands the means you made by which you would attain what is forever unattainable, and if you offer them to him, he will employ the means you made for exile to restore your mind to where it truly is at home. From knowledge, where he has been placed by God, the Holy Spirit calls to you to let forgiveness rest upon your dreams and be restored to sanity and peace of mind. Without forgiveness will your dreams remain to terrify you, and the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. Accept your Father's gift. It is a call from love to love, that it be but itself. The Holy Spirit is his gift by which the quietness of heaven is restored to God's beloved Son. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God when all he wills is that you be complete? I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. It may seem an amazing idea, but just he says there's a progression in our understanding such out of this world ideas. He says that all suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. Such is the truth, at first to be but said and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Okay, we'll come back to that before we go our way today. Let's take a look at our text reading. We're in chapter 29, the awakening, Roman numeral 8, the lingering illusion. The lingering illusion. And while you're turning there, what on earth is going on today? Well, let's see. Today is Bullying Prevention Day and Stop Bullying Day, Emergency Nurses Day, General Pulaski Memorial Day, and he was the father of the American cavalry. He was a Polish man. International Day of Disaster Reduction, International Day of the Girl Child, and you go, girl. Every girl ought to be said that when they're born. You go, girl. International Top Spinning Day, Kim Day, or Kimberly Day, for all those people named Kim. Happy Kim Day. Myth and Legends Day for all fantasy, movie, books, and legends cephalopods, also known as Kraken Day, which Kraken was a Norwegian sea monster, or maybe still is. National Bring Your Teddy Bear to Work and School Day. National Coming Out Day. I'd say just live honestly no matter what you do. People don't like who you are, that's something for them to work on. You like who you are. Stand up tall and straight, whoever you are, and be walking in the light. Be happy. National Food Truck Day, National Fossil Day, National It's My Party Day, based on the Leslie Gore song, It's My Party Day. National Pet Obesity Day, don't feed your animals too much. National Sausage Pizza Day, National Take Your Parents to Lunch Day. And if they've already crossed over, you might just have a lunch and welcome them with a candle. Say, hey, come on, visit me. Well, let's have lunch together. Southern Food Heritage Day. And, you know, one of the things that a lot of my dad was raised in the South, Louisiana. And one of the things that is good about their diet, which a lot of things aren't real good about Southern diets, but the greens. They eat a lot of greens, wilted greens, fresh greens. And we'll talk about a green here in just a minute. Stem Cell Awareness Day and SAVE, Save Today. Stop American Violence Everywhere, SAVE. And I want to talk about, and you know, we talked about the elderberry, and they don't take long before they start wilting once you pick them. But the elderberry is the Sambucus canadensis. And then black-seeded Simpson lettuce, Latuca sativa, out of Gurney's. It says, introduced in the 1800s, black-seeded Simpson leaf lettuce is one of the most popular leaf lettuce varieties among home gardeners. Its bright green leaves stay tender and sweet at all stages, making it a great addition to salads and sandwiches. It's quick to mature, 45 days, and slow to bolt. To extend the harvest season, plant lettuce seed every 2 weeks. And if I'd been doing that, I would have had some black-seeded Simpson to show you. So I need to start doing that. Lettuce is a cool season crop that grows best in the spring and fall gardens. It is one of the easiest vegetables to grow and can also be grown in containers, zones 3 through 9. And you know, if you're coming into winter and you want to plant something like black-seeded Simpson, just put a little piece of glass over it, put some plastic hoop house over it. It doesn't have to take much. It doesn't have to be heated, and it'll do just fine. Probably all winter in my zone, zone 6, here in the Ozarks. Okay, let's go take a look at our reading, and let's take with us, I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. The Lingering Illusion, chapter 29, section 8, paragraph 43, seek not outside yourself. Seek not outside yourself. That's good advice. For it will fail, and you will weep each time an idol falls. Heaven cannot be found where it is not, and there can be no peace excepting there. Each idol that you worship when God calls will never answer in his place. There is no other answer you can substitute and find the happiness his answer brings. Seek not outside yourself. It's all within. For all your pain comes simply from a futile search for what you want, insisting where it must be found. What if it is not there? Do you prefer that you be right or happy? In other words, it's inside of us. Even though things trigger our unhappiness outside ourselves, the source of that unhappiness is inside. So he says, look for your happiness. That's where you'll find it. Do you prefer to be right or happy? That's a good question to ask when you're fretting over something. Be you glad that you are told where happiness abides, and seek no longer elsewhere. You will fail. But it is given you to know the truth and not to seek for it outside yourself. 44. No one who comes here but must still have hope, some lingering illusion or some dream that there is something outside of himself that will bring happiness and peace to him. If everything is in him, this cannot be so, and therefore by his coming he denies the truth about himself, and seeks for something more than everything, as if a part of it were separated off and found where all the rest of it is not. This is the purpose he bestows upon the body, that it seeks for what he lacks and give him what would make himself complete, and thus he wanders aimlessly about in search of something he cannot find, believing that he is what he is not. 45. The lingering illusion will impel him to seek out 1,000 idols and to seek beyond them for 1,000 more, and each will fail him, all excepting one, for he will die and does not understand that the idols that he seeks is but his death. and each idol will fail him, all excepting one, for he will die, and does not understand that the idol that he seeks is but his death. Its form appears to be outside himself, yet does he seek to kill God's Son within and prove that he is victor over him. This is the purpose every idol has, for this the role that is assigned to it, and this the role that cannot be fulfilled. 46. Whenever you attempt to reach a goal in which the body's betterment is cast a major beneficiary, you try to bring about your death. Catch that again. Whenever you attempt to reach a goal in which the body's betterment is cast as major beneficiary, you try to bring about your death. For you believe that you can suffer lack, and lack is death. To sacrifice is to give up, and thus to be without, and to have suffered loss. And by this giving up is life renounced. Seek not outside yourself. The search implies you are not whole within, and fear to look upon your devastation, and prefer to seek outside yourself for what you are. 47. Idols must fall because they have no life, and what is lifeless is a sign of death. You came to die, and what would you expect but to perceive the signs of death you seek? No sadness and no suffering proclaims a message other than an idol found that represents a parody of life, which in its lifelessness is really death, conceived as real and given living form. Yet each must fail and crumble and decay, because a form of death cannot be life, and what is sacrificed cannot be whole. 48. All idols of this world were made to keep the truth within from being known to you, and to maintain allegiance to the dream that you must find what is outside yourself to be complete and happy. Again on that sentence. All idols of this world were made to keep the truth within from being known to you, and to maintain allegiance to the dream that you must find what is outside yourself to be complete and happy. It is vain to worship idols in the hope of peace. God dwells within, and your completion lies in Him. God dwells within, and your completion lies in Him. No idol takes His place. Look not to idols. Idols originate from that sense of feeling like you lack something. So recognize you have everything. Look within. God dwells within, and your completion lies in Him. No idol takes His place. Look not to idols. Do not seek outside yourself. Let us forget the purpose of the world. The past has given it, for otherwise the future will be like the past and but a series of depressing dreams, in which all idols fail you one by one, and you see death and disappointment everywhere. 49. To change all this and open up a road of hope and of release in what appeared to be an endless circle of despair, you need but to decide you do not know the purpose of the world. And that brings us back to lesson 1. What was the lesson 1? I do not know what anything means. I don't know what anything's for. Well, and I wanted to mention something. I had a brother wrote into me saying he was getting a lot of encouragement out of this and wanted to know if he should just pick up where and listen to me every day or go back to the beginning. I told him, just if you're getting something out of it, listen up and go through it. And when you start back at lesson 1 here in January the 1st, then you'll be able to give yourself wholeheartedly to it. But I would encourage you to go ahead and go back to lesson 1 and start doing it. And you can listen to what I'm sharing with you every day as an encouragement if it's encouraging, but there's a lot of foundational concepts that we want to get really clear. Otherwise, what we're learning could be more traumatic rather than beatific, as he says. So we want to get our foundational ideas well. So you might go back to lesson 1 and start. And, if you want to listen to me where I'm at, that's cool. And I'm glad you're here. And I do point out things that are happening, in the world today, which you wouldn't get if you'd be in a different time zone, but anyway, I'm just wanting to encourage you to get the foundation good. Listen to me if you want, but do the lessons starting in lesson 1 and do what they say. They're easy to do. He says only do 1 lesson a day, so I wouldn't try to do both lessons. You give it go. Okay, so to change all this and open up a road of hope and of release in what appeared to be an endless circle of despair, you need but to decide you do not know the purpose of the world. You give it goals it does not have, and thus do you decide what it is for. You try to see in it a place of idols found outside yourself, with power to make complete what is within by splitting what you are between the two. You choose your dreams, for they are what you wish, perceived as if it had been given you. Your idols do what you would have them do and have the power you ascribe to them. And you pursue them vainly in the dream because you want their power as your own. 50. Yet where are dreams but in a mind asleep? And can a dream succeed in making real the picture it projects outside itself? Save time, my brothers. Learn what time is for, and speed the end of idols in a world made sad and sick by seeing idols there. Your holy minds are altars unto God, and where He is, no idols can abide. The fear of God is but the fear of loss of idols. It is not the fear of loss of your reality, but you have made of your reality an idol, which you must protect against the light of truth. And all the world becomes the means by which this idol can be saved. Salvation thus appears to threaten life and offer death. And the last paragraph, 51, it is not so. Salvation thus appears to threaten life and offer death. It is not so. Salvation seeks to prove there is no death, and only life's extension. The sacrifice of death is nothing lost. An idol cannot take the place of God. Let him remind you of His love for you, and do not seek to drown His voice in chants of deep despair to idols of yourself. In your meditation, try to be still and quiet and listen to God. Don't be so busy about things that you can't even take them as meditation, a quiet time to let your mind be still and quiet and let God speak to you. Let Him remind you of His love for you, and do not seek to drown His voice in chants of deep despair to idols of yourself. Seek not outside your Father for your hope, for hope of happiness is not despair. Okay, and our lesson again for today. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Loss is not loss when properly perceived. Pain is impossible. There is no grief with any cause at all, and suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. Such is the truth. At first to be but said and then repeated many times, and next to be accepted as but partly true with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And I would go beyond these words today, go past all reservations, and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Father, what you have given cannot hurt, and grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. So Jacob, if you're wanting to know how to do this, listen to me every day if you want, but don't spend a lot of time contemplating these ideas. Go back to lesson 1 and contemplate that idea for the day. But I will start over on lesson 1 January 1st for all of you that want to be ready. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. What is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth. He must bridge the gap between reality and dreams. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him. To be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. To be dispelled before the light of knowledge. To be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. Forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. Perception has no forgiveness. Forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. Forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. Forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. Ask the Holy Spirit for help when you're having a thought that's hurting you. Step back and say, I need some help, Holy Spirit, and then be still and quiet and get your miracle. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt.